Hello, welcome to this year 8 video where we're going to look at Stone Cold and we're going to try to decide what is the purpose of this dual narrative. And we're going to understand this by working through two distinct tasks. How many tasks? 2. Good. The two tasks are going to be this. First of all, we're going to see these three layers of meaning: literal, metaphorical, and symbolic. Question: do we know what the word literal means? All hands go up. 5, explain. 3, I've heard the word literal. 1, today's the first day I've been introduced to the word literal. Got a lot of 3s, got a few 5s, and I'm honored that I'm teaching this to a few people for the first time. Hands down. What might the word literal mean to you? Person next to you, 5 seconds. Go. Two. And eyes on Damien. Pause, Damien. Go.
It's not a long say, it's a straightforward answer.
Good. So part of the connotations of literal is that it's straightforward. It's not metaphorical. Any other ideas of what literal could mean, Charles?
It means something exactly, so you can't
Yes.
have another.
Good. So it means the exact meaning. Literal means what physically does it mean? What's the absolute straightforward idea of it? For example, if I said I literally exploded, what has happened to me? If I say that I was so excited that I exploded, no, I literally exploded, am I being accurate in what I'm saying? People use literally to not mean literal things. They mean metaphorical things or figurative things. Let's take, for example, the title of the book. What's the title of the book, my class? 3, 2, 1, cha! Write down now in the space in your book, Stone Cold. Now, literally, what is the literal meaning of that phrase, stone cold? That something is so
Cold, that it's frozen.
that it's almost frozen like stone. Now, is stone frozen? So the actual literal meaning is it's cold because it's lifeless. Okay? 3, 2, 1, cha. So the literal definition is cold, lifeless. Yes. If you can, yes, if you can. So just write stone cold, then literal above that. So it means that it's lifeless. Let's see if I can make that tiny weeny little bit less messy. I need to write this properly. Now the next layer up in our understanding are metaphorical interpretations, okay? Now to understand the difference between literal and metaphorical, we need to do one more diagram, okay? So somewhere else, my class, can you please try to create this diagram based on denotation and connotation? And can I ask you, do you guys know the difference between denotation and connotation? 5, I can explain. 3, I've heard those words. 1, today's the first day I was introduced to the words denotation and connotation. And again, it is my honor to be able to teach you these terms. Hands down. My class, in a separate space, make sure you've got about a third of your book. Write down the word sun. S-U-N, that kind of sun. Draw a circle around it. And then, if you can, in pencil or a different color pen, would you draw another circle around it like that? And we'll show you what denotation and connotation means. And when you really understand this, it really, really opens your eyes to how you analyze and succeed in literature. It's an amazing thing. It's a magical thing. Are you ready for this now? So there's 2 layers of meaning for words. Bear in mind on our other diagram, we've got 3 layers. These 2 layers are our 2 main layers. So the first layer is going to be called denotation. So draw an arrow to the first inner layer Actually, no. No. Don't do that. Imagine that this is an onion. What would be the first layer? Would it be the outer layer or the inner layer? So let's do the outer layer as being our first layer instead, okay? Why do you think I wanted our first layer to be the inner layer? Because it looks smaller, doesn't it? But I think it's better if we think of it like an onion, where we've got the outer layer and we get to the better meaning in the middle, maybe. Okay, so the outer layer is what we call the denotation. And the denotation meaning is the literal meaning. What is the literal meaning of sun? What is a sun physically, my class? Pietro. Okay, folks, so it's a star. What physically is it also? Go. Good. Folks, the more you know about science, the better you will be in all subjects. Science is an incredibly important foundational subject. It's a natural philosophy. Young sir? Superb. We can say that the sun is like a form of fire as well. Okay, and lastly, Damien. Good. So it's also light as well. Lots of very interesting ideas around there. Now, folks, that is going to be your first layer of meaning. We need to now go to the next layer. The next layer is going to be the connotational layer. So draw an arrow leading to the inner circle, write connotation. Connotations are our most interesting form of meaning, I think. These are like metaphors, emotions, anything that you associate with sun. Now here's my question. What are emotions or ideas or anything that you personally associate with the sun? Let me give you an example. Life. Is the sun alive? No. It's not alive in the way that we understand life in the biological terms. Do you associate the sun with life? Life-giving? Yes. What else do you associate with the sun? Person next to you, 10 seconds, off you go. Three, two, eyes on Lizzie's table. What do you associate with sun, with his ball of fire? What might you associate with that? Anything. What might you associate with fire? What emotion? Yes, well done. 3, 2, 1, cha! Let's put this down. So, anger. Anything else with sun? Charles? Cancer, you say?
Yeah.
Why? Tell us.
Because of the UV in the sun that you can cause.
That's interesting. Although cancer is like a physical thing, it's certainly like an association with sun. Maybe people see the sun and they feel uncomfortable. Okay, so not just anger, but also maybe being uncomfortable. Especially in this part of the world, it can be a bit too hot sometimes. How do you feel if you see the sun in England? Or young sir, what's your thoughts?
I feel delighted.
Good. Let's put joy, just to put that down. So joy. Hang on a minute. Is it possible to feel contrasting connotations with the same word? Wonderful. Folks, when you're analysing your assessments and you're thinking about literature, should you say that a word's got more than one meaning? Yeah. Folks, here is the big thing now. Listen to this. As you get older in life, you're often taught that that's not always a good thing. Especially if you're a female in the world. What are you told is bad as you grow older? You get wrinkles and such like. But the truth is this. As you get older, do you get more interesting, more numerous and richer connotations of words and ideas? As you get older, you get more and more connotations because you have more and more experiences. Who's looking forward to getting older and having lots of different interesting connotations for every word that they ever hear? 5, I'm looking forward to it. 3, it's all right. 1, I want to be like Peter Pan and I want to never grow old and have any of these things. Yes, we've got a few ones from the boys here especially. Hands down. Folks, let's now return to our original image. So we've got these 2 layers of the phrase stone cold. We've got the denotational literal layer. We have the second layer of metaphorical. What else do we call metaphorical? Connotation. What are some connotations of stone cold? Go. Good. So helpless. 3, 2, 1, cha. Good. What are some other connotations of stone cold? Write these down yourself. With the person next to you, you have 15 seconds. Go. Three, 2, and hands up. Any of the connotations, please, young miss?
Hello.
Good. So put loneliness. Lonely. I'm so.
Lonely.
So I'm so. By my. Oh my. Eyes on Charles. Say again. So good. Good. So loneliness, loner. We've got that cross over there. Youngster. Yes. Isolation. Folks, how many connotations do you think is possible to get for each, for any word? 10, 50? Absolutely. I would say that with good practice, you guys get to 50, 100, or something like that quite easily. Now, class, look at this. There's one other layer that we're building up to. What is that layer called? Now, literal and metaphorical, denotational, connotational, that's quite straightforward. Symbolic means, what does that word symbolize about a wider idea in life or society? So let me give an example of this. What is one idea about what stone cold might mean about in this story? Some people are what? Some people are what? Some people are homeless, uneducated, lost, abused. Now it's not really what they are, but it's merely what do they represent. Some people are worthless. Some people are unloved. The symbolic meaning of a phrase or word is really, what is the wider message or the wider feeling of that, word or phrase? Stone cold. Stone cold means separate. It's not alive. It doesn't bring anything to society. Are there some people who believe that homeless people are like worthless? Do you think that part of you thinks that some homeless people are worthless and don't bring anything to? Would you say somebody who's addicted to drugs and maybe steals or begs or just doesn't have a job, are they worthless in society, even a little bit? Is it mixed? We need to see this mixed response, the dialectic, the for and against. Now then, class, out of 5, who understands these 3 layers? Literal, metaphorical, symbolic. Who understands those 3 layers? 5, I feel quite confident with this. 3, I kind of get it. 1, I don't really understand it, so it's like 3 layers with colours and... Okay, so we've got a range of 2 to 4. Hands down. I want us now to really understand these 3 layers by doing them with 2 words. What are 2 key words in our novel that will allow us to now really understand if we can look at these 3 layers? What are the 2 key words in the novel? They are, of course, no, homelessness is an important idea. Army's an important idea. Who are the two names?
Link and shelter.
Good. Folks, I want you now to do this. 3, 2, 1, cha. On a separate page in your book, on the left-hand side, the bottom, write down link. On the right-hand side, write down, yes, shelter. And it's in the front of your book. If you've got half a page, that's fine enough. Folks, what you're going to do this, that's fine. Check this out. How many layers of meaning are you guys going to try and get?
3.
3 layers of meaning. You're going to get the literal or the denotational. What's the next layer of meaning?
Connotation.
Good. Connotation or metaphorical? Good man. Do it. Do it. Metaphorical. Metaphorical or connotational? Oh, you want to do it on this, yeah? Jack, you can fill in this actual box yourself, okay, right, when it comes up. What's the top layer? What might show... Now, folks, what I'm going to say to you is this. Do you think that some of the connotations of shelter might also be similar connotations to the word for, for link? Would you do the following now? Would you create denotations for shelter, for link, connotations for shelter and link? What wider symbolic meaning does link and shelter have for society? And then, are there any comparisons across the two? 5, I know how to do this. 3, I roughly know how to do this. 1, this is really quite confusing, sir. All hands go up. Be totally honest. Okay, it's more than fine. We've got a few ones here. Hands down. Let's populate a few words in here, and then you guys will complete this. What now is a denotation for link? What is link physically? What does link mean physically? Okay, so link might mean connect. So where it says link on that first layer, write connect. 3, 2, 1, cha. What might be a connotation for shelter? Say again. Protection. What might be a connotation of link? Good. Now, what is more connotational, joining or unity? Now, actually, unity is such a strong, powerful word that might even be a symbolic one for link. So put unity at the top. What else might be a more society-based idea about link? If you've got a society that's linked, you call it well done, a community, well done. At the top. Folks, does this make sense? You put some of these ideas roughly into these different areas. Question, do these words have to go into the area perfectly? Something might be more than one area. Should this be completely easy? Is this just about you exploring this meaning? Folks, right now I want you to try and complete these kind of areas in the best way you can. Question, should you work with someone next to you? Yes. Question, how many words should you aim to get in each section roughly? About 3 or so in the time you'll have. You have about 5 minutes max. I'm much more interested if you can think of any patterns of connotation or symbolic meaning or any contrast between them. Any questions, my class? Charlie?
Can you help with this?
Yeah, you've got 3 people on your table to help you as well. Folks, 5 minutes. Okay, 3, 2, 1, cha. Any other connotations for link? Go.
Together.
Togetherness, yep. Any more? Go. Oh, that's interesting, the idea of being stuck, maybe. Go. The idea of connecting, good. And it's interesting that that connect can be either that denotation or connotation, okay? Any other literal or denotational ideas for shelter? Go.
Oh, refuge.
That's an interesting word again. It's very close to the connotation. Cassie? Protection. Now again, the connotation and denotation is going to be very close between the two here. What might be now the symbolic meaning of shelter? Go. Caring for whom? Not just people on the street. So caring for others. Okay. Caring, looking after, nurturing, those kind of ideas. Okay, folks. This is the plan now. We have this dual narrative, and we need to see why does Swindells structure the novel in this way, comparing shelter and link. Right now, looking at these things, how would we compare link and shelter, just the two names? Do link and shelter actually kind of connect in any kind of way in just the connotations? Damien? Why?
Because shelter is, it's as we said, it's a place safe and like it needs, it's caring, it needs company in some way, and link to a bigger place.
Good. So, or maybe link people and things together. So it's almost like shelter is what is what linking is doing. So if you link to something, shelter also connects to that by suggesting that everyone else is linked together. Okay. Now, in real life, in the book, is Link at all connected to anybody? Who is he kind of connected to? What characters is he kind of connected to in the course of the book? Young miss? Gail. But what happens to Gail? What does she turn out to be instead? So is he really linked to her properly? Who else is he meant to be linked to?
Ginger.
Good. What happens to Ginger? Who is he linked to at the start of the novel?
His sister.
Is he properly connected to his sister? So link suggests connection, but what's the reality in the course of the novel? He's actually not really connected at all. Does that make sense? Folks, if you could say that kind of thing, then you're going to get very good marks, but more importantly, you're understanding why Robert Swindells is including his narrative. His narrative, his story, goes against his name. What are you thinking? Excuse me, did you guys just hear this wonderful word there?
Irony.
The word was what, please?
Irony.
Out of 5, who here knows what the word irony means? 5 explain, 3 heard of it, 1, this is the first time I've heard the word irony. Hands down. 3, 2, 1, cha. The word irony. What do we think the word irony means? What does the word irony mean? Go. So irony and sarcasm are linked. It's actually an incredibly hard thing to define. Have you guys heard that song by Alanis Morissette, Ironic? It's like rain on your wedding day. It's like free ride when you're already there. It's like the good advice that you just can't take. And who would have thought it figures? That's my singing voice, by the way. Irony means this. Irony means something happens against expectations. Now, irony is often used in like a wrong way, but it's used in the wrong way so much it's kind of becoming that meaning. Example, if the best team in Wolverhampton Wanderers, sold a striker to the atrocious West Bromwich Albion, and then that striker scored a goal against them in the last minute in a match, is that ironic? Now, people say it's ironic because, you sold a striker who then scores against you. And it certainly feels a bit strange. It certainly feels like a coincidence. Does it completely go against expectations that a football player who's trying to score a goal against you scores a goal against you? Is that like massively unexpected in a football match? No. So in some ways, it's kind of not that ironic, really. Maybe the irony comes in the idea that one team thought a player couldn't score very many goals, so they sold him. Then he scores a goal. I guess that's ironic because he's going against the expectations of scoring goals, which is why he was sold in the first place. But irony is often not used very well. Keep going. That's a wonderful, superb point there. Have I taught you guys yet the clap? Yeah. Excuse me. 3, 2, 1, go. Shaznay. Now, folks, this. Excuse me. Detention. Mr. Anderson, 15 minutes after school. Shanzay. Shanznay. Shanzay. I said that, didn't I?
Take out the air.
Shaznay. Shanzay. I'm so sorry, YouTube. 3, 2, 1, go. Shazay. Okay. I'm so ignorant. Folks, so the irony says two things here. The irony of Link is actually he doesn't want to link with other people because he's kind of quite jokey and so forth. He's quite standoffish. The irony of Shelter is what in the novel? What's the irony of Shelter in the novel? That
His name is like a protective thing, but it turns out his actions aren't protective.
Folks, for homework, I want you to do this. Write down these two sentences right now at the start of them. 3, 2, 1, cha. Yeah. Write down this. The irony of Link is, then miss a line or two, then write down the irony of Shelter is, I don't want you to do it now, I want you to do it for homework. Why? Because what happens if you try to remember those two answers at home? Charles?
If you know that part of the think about it.
Yeah, you're trying to do it. Okay, you're also trying to have the discussion with your parents as well. But also, I would rather that you write a slightly worse answer by yourself at home than just write the answer you've immediately been told or discussed. Does that make sense? It's very important. Okay, folks, let's go back now to the lessons PowerPoint. Charles?
So when you put all the homework, can you bring up some show my homework?
I'll show my homework, and I'll also post this video as well so you guys can see, listen back to what we've been saying. My pleasure. So, folks, if we go now to the dual narrative, why do you think that Wilbert Swindoors has the dual narrative? Well, he wants to show the different ways of speaking, and we're going to start looking at that today, okay? Shelter uses some military slang to communicate. Do you guys know what the word slang means? 5 yes, 3 kind of, 1. Today's the first day I've heard the word slang. Oh, we've got lots of 3s and 5s there, hands down. We go for young miss, what does slang mean? Yeah, very good. Shortened words, often deliberately not always appropriate, not standard. Link uses teenage slang to communicate. Okay. Now then, what I want us to do is the following. I want us to look at Link's first entry and then a second entry on pages 3 to 6. Then we'll do the same thing with Shelter. And what do you think will be a very good strategy for us to really start to analyze the language? What are the 3 layers of meaning that we're interested in? Good. Good. So, folks, could someone please pass me a copy of Stone Cold? Thank you, Eve. I'll pass this over here. This is what we're going to do. That's very kind of you. We're going to now find from Shelter's book, from this book, at least one word here from Shelter, or phrase, one word or phrase here from Link, and we're going to think about what are the 3 layers of meaning from that. Does that make sense? Cassie. Hello, people. It's the disembodied hand from there. Okay. So let's just zoom in a bit here. So looking now. Wow. What here is an interesting slang that is something that you might hear in the military. Story blast. Now, story blast might be something in the military with explosions. Anything else? Lizzie? It's got a ring to it. Certainly sounds like that's something that you hear in the military. You could certainly include that as well. Young sir? Good. Now, got my lucky lads there. Let's look at that and we'll start to do some analysis of that word there. So let's just zoom down to shelters here. And then in your book, my class, let's just try and do what I call a connotation circle for this. 3, 2, 1, cha. Let's just write down lucky lads. And let's draw a circle around this. Do you think that you need to actually write down the denotations of lads? No, I think you know that in your head. Instead, try and think of some of the connotations of lucky lads. What are some connotations of luck or some connotations of lads? Person next to you, 10 seconds, off you go. 3, 2, and hands up. Any ideas? 1, 2. Any other connotations? 3, 4, 5. Thank you. Any other connotations? 6. Any other connotations? 7. Hands down. We go on to Cassie's tables. Good. So, friends. 3, 2, 1. Cha. Friends or friendly. And put like a slash there. In fact, I should only put one line there. So, friends / Lee. Friends or friendly. It's not working very well there, my class. Any of the connotations are lucky and lads? Go.
Lucky, like when something goes your way.
Good, so fortunate, and from that comes the word fortune. Well, yeah, the idea of getting wealth and similar. Actually, what do we associate with fortune, my class?
Money.
Good, so wealth and money. And what else do we associate with wealth? If you've got a lot of wealth, what do you have in society? How do people, you have respect and, well done, respect and power. Now, hang on a minute. How many layers of connotation are we going through to get respect and power? 1, 2, 3. So, lucky might not mean power, but we can certainly start to think of the word power if we carry on our associations in our mind. Keep going. Yes? Excuse me, that is a really immense thing. Let me just pause this for a second. Who feels that they're learning like some interesting things? Okay, so we're going into some good depth at the moment with connotations. This is a website that you guys can use at home. I use it myself. It is utterly amazing. Let's say, for example, I type the word in luck or lucky, okay? And I look it up. This will then give you some synonyms for this. Look at this. Another word for lucky might mean hot. So I click on hot. And these words then pop out. Wow. We can also click on this and wiggle it around as well. Another word might be warm, spicy as well. Now, here we might have again the idea of something being quick. Now, folks, listen again to this idea. Young miss, what was your idea? Amani, can you repeat? If we link connotations, eventually, folks, imagine a 3D space in the middle of this classroom. Imagine this kind of connection operating in 3D space. Do you think if you kept on doing this, that eventually every other word would lead to every other word? Who finds that idea incredibly interesting? 5 yes, 1 no. 3 it's all right. Hands down.
No.
Okay, so folks, let's now do some connotation circle for anything from Stone Cold. What is a word or phrase that you guys can pick from this first one? Good, so let's do local comp. Folks, 3, 2, 1, cha. Now we're doing one for link now. Local comp. What do you guys remember about comp when we discussed in our very first lesson? Charles, good.
It's a comprehensive and you can find out into trouble and start the principles.
Okay, so it's a community. Maybe now this is a very dubious thing. It's informal. We saying comp. Okay, it's not just elite. Okay, go. Yeah, and we associate, yeah, so denotationally, it's a government paid school.
Would you say it's like lower class because it's one of the developed?
It involves, so it involves all the classes. So you say it's not just the elite, okay? It's like most people, including those people of the lower classes. Okay, folks. I'm going to want you to find some of your own words and phrases for homework. Okay? We've got a lesson tomorrow, yes? In the library. And then a lesson on Thursday. I'm going to want you to do just 2 more of those connotation circles for next lesson. 5, that makes sense. 1, I've got no idea. 3, I can give it a go. Hands down. If you want to, you could also find what maybe might something symbolize, but you don't have to. Okay? Look at mainly the connotations. Folks, say goodbye to you two, please.